Woman that follows a pregnant panhandler quickly uncovers the dark reality. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to m&rtv and hit the bell so you never miss any upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. Sometimes people find themselves embroiled in a mystery they have no business solving, and when this happens, they have to choose between rolling the dice or walking away. When one woman crossed paths with a poor panhandler, she had no clue what the shabby clothing and cardboard sign were covering up. But soon enough, this bystander started to notice holes in the panhandler's story, and walking away wasn't an option. A sunny San Diego shopping plaza definitely didn't seem like the home of a sinister plot, but behind the regular friendly faces was something else entirely. In this case, darkness flourished in the most unlikely of places. One pregnant woman and her little boy spent their days panhandling at that exact shopping center. They were familiar with faces at the plaza, and frequent customers often saw the woman holding a cardboard sign with her son by her side. So one such customer, Melissa Smith, was not surprised when she saw the poor duo standing alone on the corner with their familiar cardboard sign. "I felt bad. There's a pregnant lady with a little boy who is down on her luck," Melissa said. Every time Melissa went to the shopping center, the woman was there, along with countless people buying her food and giving her money. But one day, Melissa's compassion quickly turned into suspicion. At the plaza that day, Melissa was surprised to see that the panhandler was missing. Immediately, she was worried. Images of the pregnant woman going into labor flashed through her mind, and Melissa hoped she was all right. But her thoughts were interrupted by a loud engine and the sight of the pregnant woman, who was standing in a different spot than usual, getting into a mysterious car. As she watched, Melissa noticed something odd. What was weird was the car itself. "I noticed they went into a Mercedes-Benz. I thought, wow, a Mercedes-Benz," Melissa said. Something about the situation gnawed at Melissa, so she jumped into her own car. She followed the Mercedes out of the parking lot and filmed the luxury car speeding away, but not before capturing shocking footage of the people inside. The driver, it turned out, was a well-dressed man, and he wasn't alone. Here they are, counting money, laughing. "The boy is all the way in the front seat," Melissa said. She watched as the car sped into a different store's parking lot, where the woman stood out with another sign and collected more money. Melissa marched right up to the woman and started to take pictures of her with her phone, which the panhandler didn't like at all. "Next thing I know, she picked up this big boulder," Melissa said. The woman threatened to throw it at Melissa. But a screaming pregnant woman wielding a boulder wouldn't stop Melissa from exposing the truth, and the woman ran off when Melissa didn't stop taking pictures. Now that Melissa had evidence, she was determined to see justice served. She reached out to the local news station, and the story spread. Reporter Emily Valdez knew she had to catch the phony panhandler in the act. But when she confronted the pregnant woman, something was obviously off. The woman's face matched the description almost perfectly, but there was something missing: her baby bump. It had only been 2 days, but here this woman was standing in front of a store, holding a baby in her arms. Still, Emily didn't hesitate. She showed the woman a picture of the panhandler and asked, "Is this you?" The woman looked confused. "I don't speak English," she told Emily. The woman, the boy, and the man they were there with ran to a nearby minivan. The woman jumped into the minivan, which had dealer plates, and sped away before Emily could ask more questions. But the news outlets weren't done investigating. They had a feeling that this strange family was hiding something, and something big. What stuck out about this footage were the languages spoken. In the video, the man was seen as speaking to the woman in Spanish, but he could also be heard whispering something in a different language that was difficult to identify. Luckily, there was someone out there who could help. The news footage caught the eye of retired police officer Leslie Albright. Over her 25 years of experience, Leslie had become a crucial specialist on the force. When Leslie saw the footage, she knew immediately that they were not just beggars. See, Leslie had specialized in underground crime rings. On a hunch, she tried to decipher what the man had whispered. That's when it hit her. He was speaking Romani. From this revelation, the dastardly story began to unfold. The couple had started a crime ring following their illegal entry into the country. The more Leslie shared her knowledge, the worse the facts were. They'll use babies, children, any way they can. The children will not go to school because their job and their future is the family business, she said. When asked who exactly these people are, Leslie had just one response. Gypsies, she said, without a shadow of a doubt. The MO is on the money. And when it comes to this shady family business, Leslie had a simple explanation. The business is scheming, she said. This small fraction of Romanian immigrants can end up scamming people out of thousands of dollars. The mysterious family of schemers have apparently moved on to a different area, and lack of police involvement led Emily Valdez to one conclusion. We don't know why they're begging for money, but what we do know is that people don't like beggars who drive really nice cars, Emily said. These scheming panhandlers she knew could only skip town for so long. Soon, Emily began looking for similar cases in a desperate attempt to catch the criminals. Out of all the names in their database, two in particular stuck out: Mark D'Amico and Katie McClure. Much like the suspects in Emily's case, on the surface, these two appeared like well-meaning Good Samaritans, and the similarities didn't end there. McClure and D'Amico of New Jersey were just like any other couple, except come the weekend, you wouldn't find them at any old bar in the neighborhood. Their usual hangout was a tad unconventional, and to Emily it presented a major red flag. The hangout spot in question was a nearby casino. Mark had a bit of a gambling addiction, so this was the predominant reason behind their routine. On their frequent trips, they ran into someone who would change their life. This was a man named Johnny Bobbitt, and he was a homeless veteran. The couple started to befriend him, providing the man with cups of coffee and extra dollars they'd won from the slot machines. Bobbitt was thankful for their kindness, but he missed something about McClure and D'Amico. Strapped for cash themselves, they were beginning to devise quite the sinister scheme, one in which he would play a crucial role. See, over 60,000 text messages, the couple complained about their money problems, brainstorming a less-than-legal way to remedy the hungry bank accounts. That's when they remembered the nice homeless man near the casino. So they let Bobbitt in on their sneaky plan. He hastily agreed. McClure posted the made-up narrative on GoFundMe. Bobbitt gave her $20 for gas. She wanted his kindness rewarded. Donations poured in. It was the details that won over strangers. Johnny did not ask me for $1, McClure wrote, and I couldn't repay him at that moment because I didn't have any cash, but I have been stopping by his spot for the past few weeks. In the meantime, however, McClure texted her friend, "Okay, so wait, the gas part is completely made up, but the guy isn't. I had to make something up to make people feel bad, so shush about the made-up part." The friend listened. As the GoFundMe went around the internet, more than 14,000 individuals donated to the made-up cause, amounting a grand total of $402,000, money that was supposed to be helping a homeless veteran get back on his feet. McClure and D'Amico themselves even got a ton of accolades online. Hailed as good people and selfless Samaritans, after the money had been raised, Kate posted an update. Now Johnny will have a roof over his head. Soon things would start to unravel. The first sign of trouble came when Bobbitt himself complained to local authorities that he hadn't gotten any of the money that was owed to him. This is when investigators turned an eye to the seemingly innocent couple. Bobby's attorneys claimed that out of the hundreds of thousands raised, their client had received a mere $75,000 from the fund. They accused McClure and D'Amico of spending the money that was rightfully his on luxury items, including fancy trips and handbags. Their first line of defense was to say that they'd withheld a portion of the funds from Bobbitt because they were worried that he would have spent the money on drugs, an issue he'd struggled with in the past. Little did Bobbitt know he, too, would soon be implicated in the nefarious scheme. Detectives seized the couple's cell phones, revealing texts that incriminated all three of them. When asked why it didn't cross Bobbitt's mind that complaining about his share of the money might land him in hot water as well, prosecutor Cofina simply replied that he can't speculate what is in Johnny Bobbitt's mind. It certainly appears to have been a miscalculation on his part in hindsight. Mark D'Amico accepted a guilty plea, guaranteeing him 5 years in prison, but allowing him to avoid taking full responsibility for the scheme. He also has to help pay back the stolen money. Meanwhile, Johnny Bobbitt was given 5 years probation and, despite being homeless, must also help to pay back the funds stolen through the scam. And as for Kate McClure, her fate is still being decided. Kate continued to pinpoint her boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, as the ringleader behind the entire thing, so her sentencing date was pushed back. Eventually, she pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. GoFundMe has issued their own statement, writing, "We are fully cooperating and assisting law enforcement officials to recover every dollar withdrawn by Ms. McClure and Mr. D'Amico." Finally, it's important to understand that misuse is very rare on our platform.